Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Are You Screening podcast. I'm your host, RUScreening.com's own Mark Eastman, and with me, as always, is co-host extraordinaire Shane Leonard.
Hello.
And this week, it's finally time for our best list, and I have to apologize. We shuttled our little area here around, so
Studio's different.
it's apparently doing some wobbling, and
We'll
the
figure it
camera needs to be adjusted. But anyway, so hopefully no one
We're
gets
good.
dizzy or a headache from watching this or whatever.
You have to put up one of those strobe warnings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're doing the best list, and you know, every year, just a weird preamble to doing the best movies of the year.
Yeah.
Every year, I have some reason that I say it's a weird year.
Right.
And this year's version
This is a weird year.
of it being a weird year is it is a very weird year in a lot of ways, probably.
Yep.
Especially because of all of the movies that at the beginning of the year in 2025, if you looked at everything that was coming out,
Yeah.
there are a lot of movies that you just said, probably this, probably that, or, you know, this is probably going to be
Right.
at least in the discussion,
Yeah.
even if it's not, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And this year, there are a lot of movies that got wiped out from
Right.
that
Right.
really quickly. that
Really
you,
fast.
you really would have thought
Yeah.
that they at least had a
Had a
chance to be
chance.
talked about
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So it's a weird year in that way. The other reason that it's especially weird for me is that this is the easiest top 10 list I think I have ever made.
That's rough.
And
Okay.
I mentioned this a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, you did.
When we were talking about something else, because usually, you know, I will have like 30 movies.
Yeah.
And, you know, many of those movies I'm like, well, this probably isn't going to ultimately have
Right.
a lot of chance or whatever.
Right, right.
But still, I have like a bunch of movies and I have to like chip away at it and pull things out of it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot. It's
Yeah.
like, it's work, right?
Yeah. Right.
And then especially you get down to, you know, somewhere around the top 15, maybe even 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have to think about stuff and
Right.
like move things on and off the list back and
Yeah.
forth. And I mean, it's like, this is exactly why I don't like making the list, right? Because it comes down to like, I'm comparing movies
I love it.
that are, you know, wildly different genres. They are completely different things going on
Sure.
or whatever. And I have to go, which one of these is better? And it's like, ugh. And like, I hate that.
I love
And
it.
You love it.
I
and
love
whatever.
it. Can't get enough.
This year, really, I had like 12 movies.
Yeah. All I got to do is
And
put it
I
in
was
order
like-
now.
I was like, all right. And
that's good.
there were not enough movies. There were plenty of other movies that were like good that I liked. That you know, I'm like, you know, this is a great movie, and I'd recommend people go to it. Has no chance of being anywhere near my list.
Right.
But you know, whatever. There you go. So
Yeah.
that's how this year was weird.
Lots of
for me.
4.5s to 7.5s.
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah.
So, when I try to do like, you know, the almosts,
Oh, yeah.
I usually have like a jillion movies.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
usually have a bunch of movies that I go, that's exactly what I say. I say, look, this had no chance, but I'm going to mention it because damn it, like this is a
This
good
is your
movie.
moment.
It's
You
not
got- you
really,
got it.
you know, this movie is not really 12 on
Right.
the list,
Right.
but I'm going to mention it because
Yeah.
it's like a cool movie. So this year, I'm gonna run through some kind of also good movies.
All right.
right.
Do it.
First is Good Fortune, which is
Yeah.
the Keanu Reeves is an angel. And the weird thing about this movie,
Yeah.
for even mentioning it, is that it's not that good.
That's why it's not on the list.
It's not that good a movie, but it's a fun watch, right? But there is
That
something
counts.
about it.
Right.
There's something about this movie that is just like inherently not good movie.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if I have time to try and put my finger on it right now, but there's a lot of the script that is like not really trying
Yeah. Yeah.
to do anything
Yep.
really.
It's just a fine time.
This is a movie where I feel like, you know, your main three people in the movie had like kind of an idea, and they were like, "Look, we're all willing to be in this movie. Give us some money." And
Right.
someone said, "That works for me,
All right,
man.
we'll do
You
that.
got-"
It's going to look good on the poster.
Right. But it it's a fun watch. You have to be
Yeah.
very forgiving with it, but it's a fun watch. So that is definitely one to go see. Also, Black Bag, which a lot of people liked, and a lot of people
Made a lot of lists.
a lot of people I think take a lot more seriously and gave it a lot more credit. And it has moments of really goodness in it.
Yeah.
And what happens for me in this movie is that the last hour, 40 minutes,
Yeah.
somewhere around there, is basically all one scene.
Yep.
And it's goofy. and
I don't like that scene.
it thinks
Yeah.
that it is like, look at this awesomeness happening, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's not that great. It's there are
Soderbergh puts out films.
there are parts of this movie that think that it rivals Altman at his best, and goes,
Look at this.
there you go, and
Yep.
it does not,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't. It
Yeah.
does. It can't stick what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
But it is still a good, fun movie. It's still a good time. As long as you're watching it, and what you expect is like, I mean, this will be pretty good. Like, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
The last part of it for me really kind of flies off the rails.
Yeah.
It's just not. If they were not being as serious
It would have
at
worked
the
better.
end, it would have been better.
Yeah.
If it was trying less
Yeah.
to go look at how awesome this is,
Yeah.
it would have been better. If it would have just said, look, this is just fun,
Right.
spies,
Have some
let's
popcorn.
go.
Right.
Yeah. It would have been better.
Yeah.
So there's that one. But it's worth watching. It's good. The next one is Sinners, which is on all kinds of people's lists and everything. And we've talked about this several times too. This movie is actually really good,
Yep.
but it is really good, like The Adventures of Ford Fairlane is really good. Or, like
Yeah.
it's another category of really good.
Yeah.
It's like,
I like Ford Fairlane.
God, I can't even remember the name of the movie now. I'm blanking. Where it's like you think you're watching one movie and then it turns into their vampires.
From
It's
Dusk
the
Till
same
Dawn.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's like that.
Yeah.
In a way, which that is a really good movie.
Yeah.
Sinners is a better movie than that, maybe, but it's just not actually in a category of trying to be that good, especially because once everyone starts going, look, it's the greatest movie ever, and it's the best movie of the year, and then you go, all right, well, let me tell you something. Now I have to look at it in a different lens.
Right.
And if I watch the movie with that lens,
Right.
then I'm like, okay, look, it's actually kind of stupid.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you can't have it both ways, right? It's like people saying Harry Potter's the best book they ever read, right? I'm like, well, now listen, Harry Potter's a good book.
Right.
I actually like the Harry Potter books,
Yeah.
no matter how much I hate J.K. Rowling, right?
Right.
And a lot of the books are good. The last two books, I think, are actually garbage. But they're just riding on the coattails of
God.
everything else that happened. But several of the books are really
rough.
good books.
Yeah.
Right?
That's rough.
Now, if you say they're
The best.
among the best books ever written, now I have to read those books in a different lens.
Yeah.
Right? That's what same thing. That's what I'm talking about. Then they're not very good books. Because they're really good books for what they are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you start watching, not like an animated movie, but a movie seriously that's like for little kids,
Right.
and you go, man, that's a good movie, right?
Right, right.
Like it's after like 10 to 13-year-olds,
Right.
and you go, hey, man, that's a good movie, and
Yeah.
then somebody goes, actually, it's the best movie that's ever been made, right? Then I go, all right, let me rewatch that movie,
Yeah.
right? And then I mean, it just. Anyway, Sinners is really good.
Yeah.
And it's not at the level where it ever had any chance of being in my
On your
top
list,
10.
yeah.
It's not doing that work or
Yeah.
storytelling or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, that's my long babble there. All right, The Long Walk is also in my also mentions or whatever the hell this category is. I think I think the problem with The Long Walk, which that is also a good movie, it's a good watch, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, actually.
A lot of people say that.
The problem for me with that movie is that it felt the whole time I was watching that movie like it was made overly for people who were massive Stephen King fans and loved the book.
Right.
And whatever. And it wasn't movieing itself enough.
It was adapting itself.
And going, make a good movie out of this. Yeah. It was going, we have these fans, and I want to give them exactly what they expect and want and what happens. And that doesn't make it bad.
Right.
But they're just, it just didn't come together enough for me. As
room on your list.
No.
All right.
It just wasn't like, it was just like something was missing somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't know that, I feel like it's just, it's niche, and it's just really locking into that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So it wasn't on the list. It was maybe pretty close. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that. And then now I'm wobbling the hell out of the thing. Begonia is
our favorite, Lanthimos.
Yeah, and
hit or miss, man.
And
it's everything.
It's still pretty good.
It's he's so wild.
It's still pretty good. It's worth watching. I would recommend people watch it to those that I think have any chance of liking it. Right. I think if you watch like the trailers and stuff, and you have any chance of liking it from that, you will probably like it. Right.
Yeah.
I just don't think you will love it the way that
many
of his other movies are at another level.
Yeah.
And mainly because the first 2/3 of it seems like it's a different movie than the last third of it. And the last third of it is just a little goofy and pretentious, I think. It's and the first 2/3 of it, and not only that, but you get to a point where it really weirdly just telegraphs everything, and you know exactly what's going to happen for the whole rest of the movie. And you watch like the first 2/3 or first half of this movie and then pause it and then go, okay, now I'm going to tell you right now that everything that happens for the rest of the movie, you're going to know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. You'd go, no way.
Right. It's frustrating.
This is like great. Yeah. This is madness
this
happening
is totally
here.
Not happening.
And now you're telling me that I'm going to know what's going to happen? So it's a weird separation that really kind of takes things apart for me. There's a lot of it that's really good.
Yeah.
I think that we're at a stage with Lanthimos where maybe going forward, it like he's got to bounce things off somebody else.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
And go, I don't know, because I like so much of his stuff so much. And the last third of this movie makes me think
it could have been something.
It's maybe going to his head.
When he's got the right idea and he's into it, and it's a good idea, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Wild Things, any of the favorite, just boom, and then just a small misfire, just a little off that axle, and I'm like, that's weird. That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not the same.
Yeah.
It's hard. Because when he nails it, it's like, it's a whatever your metaphor, it's a grand slam in the World Series, whatever. It's a perfect film. It's an Oscar winner.
Right.
But if he misses it, it's not even a list maker.
It is, I think, one of those things where,
God, he's so talented. He's so weird.
When the thing that you're trying to do is so much harder than what everyone else is trying to do, when it goes wrong, it really goes wrong.
I get it.
It goes a little weird. And like I said, it's a good movie.
It's
just
it's still worth watching. It's just not list.
Yeah, and it makes it sort of disappointing. And then couple more. Sorry, Baby, which a lot of people are talking about and have mentioned that it's great. And it is, I think, really good. It's just not quite
right.
Absolutely, whatever. And this is a movie that is, younger-ish in career people involved,
Right.
and making it and directing it. And, I'm not going to go into a whole spiel about the movie like we're, focusing specifically on this movie. I'm just going to throw that kind of stuff out. This is a movie by a person and people who have a great career ahead of them, whatever, who are going to make lots of awesome things. This is the kind of movie where I wish this movie came out 5 movies later.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
we see
then
that sometimes.
it would have been,
Yeah.
we would have reworked a few things. We would have done some scenes differently, yada, yada. And ultimately, it's a really good movie and you should watch it. It is also maybe a little niche too. It's not, I don't know that I would jump on and say this is a movie for everyone, or,
Right.
whatever. But it's really good. And then Eddington, which is
Yeah.
really solid movie that has a lot of parts of it where all of a sudden you go, wait, what? Like it's a really good movie. It has a lot of great people in it. It's Pascal is
Yep.
in it, and
Edgerton.
Joaquin Phoenix, who
Yeah.
I swear to God, I still take a couple points off for Joaquin Phoenix being in stuff.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
Anyway, but it's good. Everyone in it is doing good stuff, and it's a good script. But like I said, there are a couple of parts of it where it kind of pulls you out of it, and you go, "Wait, what am I suddenly watching now?"
Yeah.
And so it, takes it off. So it maybe was like pretty close to being like in the top 10. It's actually a movie that was kind of
Made some
in
people's
that
lists,
kind of
too.
category.
Yeah.
It's a good movie and you should watch it. It just, I had some problems. And like I
Issues with
said, I'm not going to analyze the whole movie. And then the final thing that I want to mention is K-pop Demon Hunters,
Yeah.
which won
Man, that's on a lot of people's lists.
won the Critics' Choice and the Golden Globes for Best Animated Feature. And, not to put too fine a point on it, but I just call bullshit. That movie's not that good. It is a good movie. It's
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
It's
like the movie we're talking about.
it has like, cool music in it,
Yeah,
whatever.
sure.
And plus it's about music because
Right. K-pop.
whatever. But it's not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with all the other nominees for animated picture, at least 3 of them are really, really good.
Yeah. Not this one.
Are
That's awesome.
really good movies. And this is just like, I don't know. Everybody loved it, whatever. But as a movie, and, I don't want to say negative things about it because it's really good. It's like we're in the same category. Like I'm talking about, it's a really good movie, right?
Yeah.
But if we're going to have this movie count, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I think we are in a realm here with this movie where, it's only been so long that animated movie was a category,
Right.
that you could win.
Win.
It's not that old, right?
Yeah.
That it was
Right.
possible. And this is a movie where we would not have said, we absolutely have to have an animated movie category.
This wouldn't
right?
have been we're not going to run the test on this crowd.
Right.
Right, with K-pop.
I don't know. So, apologies to everyone who loves it. I really like it too. It's a good movie. It's just not.
hate it.
It's not in the same.
You
world.
called bullshit. That's
I
pretty
do.
close to hate.
I call bullshit. Okay, so that is my before the list things to talk about.
The easy thing that we do every time we do the lists, any longtime listeners will know. Here's a quick rundown. Of course, Mark does all the films that he's seen. The vast majority of that we never touch on the podcast. I conversely will almost always try to do only the films we've seen. Our lists sometimes line up weird because the best is still the best.
Right.
There's a couple films that I don't know that we did on the show this year, and I put them on. But for the most part, the difference in our lists is that also this year, because you say it and I say it often, this was a weird year for the lists. This year, in maybe the last 10, it's definitely the last 7, I saw fewer films than I have ever seen. And part of that is just the way that we're able to see films. In my big push for seeing films that either we missed in the year or that are contenders for awards and would likely probably make lists is from Thanksgiving into the new year. And there's some differences in how those films are available now. So I didn't see a lot of films.
Right.
And because of that, I expect, not that our lists are in competition, but just my list as its own entity is in competition with so many. And there's a lot of films I just didn't get to. So those films aren't going to be here. Of the films that I did see, I have a quick rundown of the things that just missed, much like Mark did. And it's weird as I'm thinking about it, saying it out loud, some of these are not that big of a deal. But some of them I think somebody might think it would be on my list, and now you're giving away that it isn't. And I think that's sort of a strange tell. But I also had Begonia for the exact same reasons you said. I also had Black Bag for almost exactly the same reasons you said. Some of the films that were really, really close, Train Dreams didn't make my list. It's on a lot of people's lists. I thought it was a beautiful movie, and I think Joel Edgerton does an incredible job in the film. Felicity, everybody else does too. It just didn't coalesce for me enough, and I liked other films more. Frankenstein, I'm a huge Guillermo fan. I'm a huge Frankenstein fan. This seemed at the beginning of the year, like you said, looking at the calendar ahead, and I'm like, Frankenstein's on my list.
Right,
So's Begonia.
Right.
I don't have to see these. I could have almost lost a good long bet saying, I don't have to see them. I know.
Right.
And I would have been walking home or homeless or some, thing. Not that that's jokeable. I don't know what this is doing. Sorry. Touched the wrong button. So Frankenstein didn't make my list. There's 3 more. The Amateur with Rami Malek, strangely, was at the bottom of my list for a long time. And God, man, I loved that film. I liked that film a lot more than I thought I was going to. And I would argue that if I hadn't seen other films late, that probably still would be 10 or 9. I just think that's a really fun time. And again, in the grand scheme of things, if you've seen all the heavy hitters out there, you might not even waste any time seeing it. But I think it's a mistake. I think that's a really fun film, and we talked about it a bit.
I think that movie got, a bad amount of marketing.
I do too, and I don't know if they knew how to market it, because honestly, Rami is a very unique actor, both physically and what he can bring. He's not going to be Jason Statham. He's not going to be like a super, it's just, he's not going to fill that role, and he's not Chris Evans, so he has to be something different. Man, he kills it as that different in The Amateur.
Right.
But it didn't make my list. The last 2, John Candy's documentary, I Like Me, I removed. It was on there for the longest time, and I loved that film, but I've come to realize that I love it mostly for just 2 scenes. It's only like an 80-minute documentary, and it's a great documentary. And it makes me miss John Candy a lot, both as a person on the planet, as an ambassador for all kinds of great things, but just his roles. I forget how many things he was in that were sort of formative for me in the 80s and 90s. When Bill Murray talks about John Candy, I love all those scenes because it's just heartfelt and honest. But I think I have thought more about Dan Aykroyd's like 5 or 6 minute eulogy of John Candy, the last half of last year, more than I can admit to anybody. It's just chilling and perfect, and I love the cadence, and there's so many things, but 2 small scenes don't make a movie to be on my list. And maybe the biggest surprise before we get to the lists finally is Marty Supreme didn't make my list. And I found it interesting because I'm going to say almost the exact same thing about Marty Supreme that we said about Uncut Gems a few years ago. And it is that this movie is so unevenly frustrating because it's fantastic in places. It's amazing in big swaths. For me, I like watching Timothée Chalamet work with all these other actors, but it's hard to care about a film when I detest the main character so much, and I don't root for them in any situation. And the strange occurrences that happen feel like they're just plucked out of a Wes Anderson draw box. yet they work in the scenes that just doesn't come together. And in the end, when I'm supposed to care about this person's character evolving or reconciling or doing anything, I don't. All I can say is, like, all the ingredients were fresh. I just didn't like the cake.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because I know why it's so powerful to so many people. It's on so many lists. I haven't seen many lists where it didn't make at least the bottom of them. I just didn't care about that character at all. Like, and I watched 2.5 hours of it,
Right.
and thought this is the component of an Oscar film in a weird way. It should be nominated because of how good it is, but it's just so damn oppressive against the audience in a way that I don't know who's rooting for Marty. I wasn't. So
Right.
that's the end of my just missed.
That's cool. This is going to be an interesting read.
We snake back and forth. I can
Yeah.
never remember if I go first with 10 or
I'll go first. It's
You go
fine.
first?
I
Okay.
don't know if there's a.
I can't remember the way we do
I'm
it.
not sure if there's precedent that we're
I don't remember.
going
but
against. but,
whichever.
I'll go first. All right. Officially, the list. Here
Here
we
we
go. Okay. My number 10.
Yeah.
If I can get to it. My number 10 is Eternity.
I wanted to see Eternity so bad, and I never
And-
got to it.
And
This stinks.
And I'm going to confess right now.
It looked fun.
That a lot of people who are watching this, and we potentially could get comments about this or emails or whatever.
Eternity looks so good.
I just have to say that a lot of people could easily be at this point in this podcast and go, but you just said those other
Right.
movies, right? Because this is not that great a movie, right?
Fun concept.
It's kind of in the same category that I just talked about,
Like the Keanu
other
films.
movies,
Yeah.
right? Where, this movie is not trying to win awards,
Right.
This movie is not like,
Right.
hey, look, this is like the greatest, coolest thing. It's like kind of a simple movie. There are some parts of it where I have to admit it's a bit goofy, and I'm kind of like, does that make sense for that character? Like,
Yeah.
do I really believe that is what that character does or whatever? And I'm like, I maybe don't actually. Right?
Yeah, that's
but
okay.
The movie has a lot of scenes that are so good. And I will say this too, just because I want to throw this out. I think this movie is overly weird and harsh about the woman character. And in a way that the movie like doesn't address.
This is Elizabeth
I
Olsen,
could
yeah.
understand a lot of people watching this movie, a lot of women watching this movie,
Yeah.
and going, like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, I think it all makes sense in the end, and I think it does fit her character. And I do think that it is ultimately fair to say this specific person acts like that.
Yeah.
If you just look at the bullet points or whatever,
Right.
like if
Everything,
if you don't give the movie a chance to give you this character,
Right.
then whatever. I mean, like I said, we're not going to like individually review all these movies, but
No.
everyone is really good in the movie. It is a really screwball concept, so you have to jump on board with that. And
Yep.
it's about, the people are all dead in the movie, right?
Right.
Almost the whole movie is they're dead.
Right.
And then there are parts where we kind of like flash
Flashback,
back to
right.
what
Yeah, of
happened
course,
during their
but-
life and stuff. But this is a movie like about the afterlife and what has to happen. And one of the things that I think is pretty fun, not that this like makes the movie or anything, is that like we give like no reference at all to like God or like whatever. It's just like this is where you are.
This is what we're doing.
Not going to explain anything. Not going to tell you how
Yeah.
this came to be or whatever. But this is where you are, and this is how it works, and you go with it or don't, right? And it's like, But anyway, but the movie's really fun. The characters are really cool. It's maybe a little too long, but it just is like a fun watch that really I was surprised by.
Yeah.
Especially because after like the first 20 or 30 minutes, I thought, I don't know that they're doing this right.
Right.
Like, I don't know this is going to work for me.
Right.
This is a little weird.
Yeah.
And and it gets eventually to this point that you kind of, could have guessed we're getting to, right? It's like, I know we're going to solve the murder.
Right.
Hooray, you
Right.
solved the murder.
Yeah.
You surprised me,
Yeah,
right?
you did it.
Like, where you're going to end up because it's a movie, right?
Right.
But I thought it actually kind of earned stuff that I didn't think it was going to.
Yeah.
And, kind of delivered, and it was
Yeah.
fun and screwy, and it gave all the actors a decent amount of stuff to work with to kind of, flesh themselves out and make them interesting, and it
Right.
pulled me along. And anyway, that's my number 10. I really liked it, and it could possibly be one of those things where, you have like no expectations.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty good, and then you think it's better than it is.
Right.
or whatever. So, I don't know. But I really like that movie. And as you often say, one of the things, that kind of pulled this movie into the list is that I kept thinking about
Yeah,
this
that's
movie,
a big thing for me. If
and,
I keep
and
thinking,
it's not like, I don't know. It's not like
yeah.
the next greatest story ever or anything.
Right.
But I kept thinking
Something.
about the stuff that happened in it, and
Yeah.
it was good. Anyway, that's my 10.
Sometimes in the list we'll have different criteria too, and we've talked about that before. Sometimes one of the things, like Mark said, if I just keep thinking about a film or a scene or a series of scenes in the film, that's enough for it to make high on the list for me anyway. 10 for me sort of is that spot. It's the same thing. I came in with pretty low expectations. It won me over with its earnest attempt at nostalgia and grief and regret and just living. I'm a sucker for Carey Mulligan anyway, but The Ballad of Wallace Island was the one for me that surprised me. And when I started ordering the films around, I went, I didn't love that movie, but I had such a fun time watching it, and I've thought about it a little bit after. It really didn't have a cynical bone anywhere. It really is just trying to examine this person and this idea and this regret and this circumstance. And I don't know if it nailed it the way I wanted it to, but I thought it was true to itself in every way that it needed to. And that's why it wound up as number 9 for me. So, and I really didn't think it was going to make the list at all when I saw it. I just thought, it's a film.
So what movies have you got now?
10, The Ballad of Wallace Island.
Okay. So then you will do
I'll do
9.
9.
Too.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just going to throw out real quick
Yeah.
so that I don't forget it. That's not on my list, but that is a really good movie. It didn't wow me or whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't like stick with me, so
Yep.
I was like still thinking about it or whatever.
Yep.
But that is a really good movie. But I just don't want to have, you didn't even ever
Right. No, you didn't mention.
that,
No,
so
we do this. We go back
whatever.
and forth
But that's
about these.
okay. So you're 9.
Number 9, I can't imagine is on your list either. Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back is a horror film. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's available. People can watch it. I think if you like horror films, you've seen this film. I think if you've liked horror films for a long time, you've seen all horror films. Man, it tried hard, and I thought when it needed to, it swung for the fences, and sometimes it struck out, and then in the next scene, it delivered. It was just a fun time, and it's fun to see a horror film. It isn't a suspense film disguised with just a lot of blood.
Right.
I know as a moviegoer, as a fan, you're really not a big horror fan. I don't expect that this landed with you in any big way. But for me, I had a blast watching Bring Her Back. So that was my number 9.
Yeah. All right. It was okay.
It's fine.
Like
Yeah,
I
I
said,
get it.
I'm not into horror, but
Sure.
it was, as far as horror movies go, it was a movie that I would, tell people they'll like.
It's
it
just
was
fun.
good.
It's
yeah.
it's a fun drive-in popcorn, like summer night. Just let's just have fun with this kind of film, and it does almost everything it needs to do.
Right.
Well,
All right. My 9 is Marty Supreme.
Okay.
So
yeah. I mean,
that's where we are there. And the thing is,
That's cool.
I did in fact struggle with this movie a lot because we've covered this movie.
Yeah.
And my problem with this movie is that it is for me watching it too much just making Uncut Gems again.
Yeah, exactly.
With just a different premise, different locale, different
Sure.
situation that we're in, but the same character.
Same
Really,
character.
really kind of and the same character in the sense that in both movies we're trying to examine this character who is like this exact guy.
Yeah.
Right? And ultimately, now that we've examined them through all this stuff that happens in their lives,
Yeah.
it turns out they're the same guy.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by it's the same
Yeah.
character, right? It's the same,
Yeah.
he's got the same outlook and
Sure.
perspective.
Very
and
selfish and
he's the
me,
same
egotistical.
personality. He's whatever. It's just we're watching
Yeah.
the same guy. It still made my list, and in a very weird way, because he's really good in it. Okay,
He is.
whether you like him or not or whatever, but acting wise, I mean, he's really good in it, and it's just
Right.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like Adam Sandler, man. You
Yeah.
may or may not love Uncut Gems, but Adam Sandler was
Kills it.
awesome in
Yeah.
that movie.
He's amazing in it.
And not only was he awesome in that movie, but once you get to about 40 minutes into that movie,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know who else you're going to get to do this.
Right. Right.
Like he was so good
Yeah.
in that movie that I really don't know who else could have done it.
And-
he was amazing.
And I've seen Adam Sandler for 25, 30 years. That's not Adam Sandler. That dude's acting.
Right.
That's somebody else who looks like Adam Sandler.
Right.
Like that guy's on.
He's so good. Anyway, and Marty Supreme, like I said, Timothy Chalamet is awesome in it, and I think almost the whole movie, he really nails it. There are a couple of scenes in the movie where I did kind of go,
Yeah.
like we're not quite on the same level in some of these scenes.
Yeah.
But the semi weird thing of why it was good enough, because like I kind of didn't. It's not as good, I think, as Uncut Gems. It didn't.
I agree.
It didn't hit things or whatever.
Yep.
I'm fine with not liking him.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like Adam Sandler either.
Right.
I mean, I
Right.
wasn't rooting for him either.
Right.
In fact, one of the worst parts of Uncut Gems, I thought, which almost completely killed the movie for me, is at the end when he like lets the guys out. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right. No
this
way.
guy's not that dumb.
Not that. You're right.
This guy would have been killed 20 years ago,
Right.
if he was that dumb, right? Like,
yeah.
but anyway, but one of the things in Marty Supreme is like everyone else who's in the movie actually really brought the movie up for me.
That I agree with.
Enough to
Totally. Everybody.
to say it's like in the realm. My problem with the movie is that it's too much Uncut Gems, and I kind of don't need it. But then if I try to look at the movie and like really be objective about it,
Yeah.
like I kind of have to take that out of
Sure. I get it.
my like for it
Yeah.
or dislike for it there
Yeah.
is kind of not part of the movie,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, bringing up your prior criminal record or something. Like it's just, and there's so much about the script that I really liked, even though this is yet another movie that I think could have been a little shorter. There were some scenes that we maybe didn't need, and we're just patting ourselves on the back by having them in it.
Yeah.
But there wasn't that much to fix, I guess. And I think probably our difference, even though we both, acknowledge that it's a really good movie, is, not liking him is fine with me.
Yeah.
And not wanting to root for him, or, having
Yeah.
like kind of a, he's not even an anti-hero. He's like worse than that, right? He's like, he's like beyond.
Yeah, definitely.
Even that, because, you're not supposed to like him. You're not supposed to root for him. And, and I was more okay with that.
There were parts.
And that's fine. But overall, the
Yeah.
movie just worked enough, and I still have problems with it, but it's still up there.
It's still, like you said, if Timothy Chalamet's character was likable somehow at the end, it doesn't change everything that you said. And the strongest part of that whole film for me, liking Timothy or not, liking Marty or not, is there is no flaw. And in fact, every cast member who is supporting tertiary, five supporting levels deep, and they come back for 7 minutes later, 3/5 of the way through the film,
Right.
they're all A+.
Right.
And everything that they do, even if it's wild and weird and wacky, is just awesome.
Right. And it's a lot of it is like really good and didn't even need to be, right. Like it wouldn't really hurt
Yeah.
the movie that much if they weren't great.
Right.
If they were just like
Right, they were just
good
fine.
enough or passable,
just fine to move the scene
still
for
be
him
fine,
and Gwyneth
right.
and Kevin Leary's great in it. I never thought I'd ever see a film like that. Somebody asked me if I had seen it and what it was like, and I said it's like Uncut Gems if you throw some Anora on it. And they're like, I haven't seen either of those. I'm like, well,
Right.
tell me what you think, you
Right.
know, because it just feels to me. You know, on some level, I think in Uncut Gems, I think I did root for him. And I thought Sandler's character, not with a redeeming arc totally, but there were moments where I'm like, he's putting it together. He's going to change. He's going to be a different person, maybe not a better person, and maybe not a better person going forward. But at least he sees more the danger of being this fallible antagonist, and then he just failed as a human being. I liked that about his unlikable character.
Right, sure.
That is not present in
Yeah.
Marty Supreme at all. He doesn't learn anything. And actually, I didn't say this in my quick blurb because I didn't know if it was going to be on your list or not. I'll honestly say the very last scene of the film takes 1.5 stars away anyway because I don't believe it. It
Right.
doesn't earn it. It's there to make the audience feel good, but there isn't an iota of a moment in the entire 2 hour and 23-minute runtime that he earns that.
Right.
And I'm like, now you're just being manipulative. Screw you. So anyway, that's your 8. Your 9. What's your 8?
All right, my 8 is Blue Moon, which
Okay.
is I'm
didn't
gonna
see that.
I'm gonna say kind of a niche movie.
Yeah.
Because if you don't care about any of this stuff,
Right.
this movie is not going to hit you very
Right,
hard, right?
right.
And it's Ethan Hawke, and you know it's got real good people in it doing a lot of things better than you probably
Yeah.
expect, and not necessarily they're good actors, but this is just not what you are used to getting out of them. It's not their fault. It's
Yeah.
not like they're not great actors the whole time. But maybe you haven't seen them in a lot of stuff where they had to be this good to be good. And, you know, that's not their fault, right? I mean,
Right.
I'm not trying to say that they're bad
Right.
in other things.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just saying that other things you may know them from maybe, you know, did not require this level of being a good actor, right?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to disparage them.
Right.
I'm just saying that you may see some people do a lot better than you are used
You're
to.
used
whatever.
to seeing. Yeah.
But it's a movie, and I'm not going to go into a whole spiel about it. But it's a movie about like you know the historical writers of
Yep.
a bunch of stuff and their you know back and forthness, and it's like Rodgers and Hammerstein,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like you know Ethan Hawke is the other guy,
Right. Right.
that
Yeah.
you know whatever, and the whole thing is like in this bar,
Yeah.
and you know there's a woman, he's like a old dude losing all his hair and
Right.
whatever, and it's such a weird you know we're just hanging out movie kind of thing, and then
Right.
like exploring where he is in his life now and what he's going to do with that, and it's a very goofy niche thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's not all the way to something like My Dinner with Andre,
Right,
you know,
right.
where it is literally
That'd be a
just
big,
two guys talking at a
Justin,
table
yeah.
the entire movie. But it is just, you know, this guy hanging out in a bar. You know, people come in, they go out. We've got like the bartender
Yeah.
and the whole thing. And if you're in the group of people who can appreciate this, it
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke is incredible in it. And it is almost odd to like have grown up with Ethan Hawke and then see him now
Do this.
in this.
Yeah.
But he's really good. Everyone in it is really good. And like I said, it is one of those movies where you may love it and think it's awesome. And you will not be able to explain that to a lot of people.
Right.
Right. And you will definitely not recommend this to all your friends
Right.
because they will come and punch you or
Right,
something
right.
because they'll
Sure.
go, what the hell are you
What are
making
you
me
thinking?
watch?
Yeah.
Because it is so like this weird, chill, laid back, nothing happens.
Right. Right.
You know, except that people come and go and talk and,
Yeah.
you know, explain their existence and think about their lives and whatever and have these conversations. And he's, you know, he's into this young, super attractive blonde woman.
Right.
And hilarity ensues,
There we go.
except that it doesn't because
No.
we're just sitting there and it's
cool.
it's crazy movie, but it's really, really
I
good.
wanted to see that one too. You'll love my number. What am I at? 7?
No, I
number 8.
won't.
No, you won't.
All right, 8.
I am now. This is the small caveat. I have 2 quick things to say. I'm now at the limit in some ways of my own list. I don't often put a 4 or a 4.5 film on my top 10 list, even if I think about it all the time. That's what the worst of the list is for. But when I was looking over the films and I look, I don't know how you do it. We talk about it differently every year. I look and I see what did I grade from 10 to 7, and then I start weeding things out. Sometimes a 7.5 is better than a 9, and for reasons that we've already discussed or we've talked about in the past. Sinners is number 8 for me, and the reason mostly is a limitation of some other things. It was not as good as any of the films that come before it, and I found that it was better than a bunch of films that came after. I think I liked it a little bit more than you. Anyway, obviously it's on my list, and we know it's not on yours. I heard this conversation with Michael B. Jordan and Matt Damon a while ago, and he was talking to him specifically. I don't know if it's a feature for the release of Sinners or not, but he was asking him how he made the film, mostly because Michael B. Jordan's character is twins and he's playing opposite himself. And Damon has done an incredible amount of films at this point, and he just has questions that most people don't get the terminology. I didn't get all of it. You know, he's asking about the double tap T-spots for the 2-shoot pickups, and I'm like, I know what you mean, but I don't know what that is. And the way that Michael B. Jordan in this half-hour interview talked about the way that they made this film and his choices, it caused me to go back and rewatch it. It was that interesting, and he was that convincing about certain things. And some of the things he said in terms of making the film and how that the director had to, Ryan Coogler, how in the moment, because they didn't have time to do other takes, and he had to then get out of his own character to be his twin brother and come back. He was making decisions on what prints each day to use based on an assumption of what he was seeing that wasn't finished in front of him. And I know enough about movies to know that that's almost impossible.
Right.
And if the film that I saw that I thought was 6.5, 7 was that difficult to do at a 6.5, 7, maybe now I think a little bit differently. Sinners still has all the same problems that it had when we saw it and when we talked about it. It hasn't changed those things, but I had a better appreciation for it, and I think that seeped through.
Yeah.
And that's where it came up on that. 7 for me, unless you had something you wanted to tag on. You don't care about Sinners. 7 for me is a little bit of a surprise too, but I love Wes Anderson, and I put The Phoenician Scheme in 7. Again, a lot of these things I'm not going to go over, and I know you don't either. We're trying to condense for time, and we're trying to go.
Right.
If we've talked about these, we encourage you to go listen to the podcast episode that we did talk about it. I'm pretty sure we talked about this.
Yeah.
And I just had a lot of fun, and thinking back on it, I was happy to have it on my list. I always like seeing Wes Anderson on my list.
Yeah.
So that's my 7.
All right. Okay. My 7 is another movie that you already mentioned, so we'll go back and forth with this. My number 7 is Train Dreams.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
And,
that's good.
and I also, and I think I actually have mentioned this during the show, I also had problems with this movie and didn't love it in a certain sense. I think mainly because, and I think this is what I mentioned before when I think when we were talking about like the nominees and stuff, and I talked about it a little bit. Like my main problem with this movie is that, as we often say, right?
Yeah.
I could have made it better, right?
Right.
There's another movie where I get the script for like a week,
Yeah.
and that movie's better.
Yeah.
And so that makes me not like this movie as much, right? Like
Right.
this movie is not as good because there are some choices that could be made, and this is based on a
Right. It's based on a Dennis Johnson book.
It's based on a book, a like novella, like a short
Yep.
thing that was originally, I think, published in like a literary magazine or
Yep.
something.
Yep.
And so, you got to do what you got to do because
Right.
it's based on a book. Or
Taking
whatever,
it from
right?
that.
And I don't want to be that guy who's like, sure, you made that Shakespeare movie
Right.
okay, but I can make it better or
Right,
whatever.
right.
But I mean, it is what it is.
There's room for
In
improvement.
what happened in the movie, there are some scenes that I think should be a little bit different.
Yep.
And as much as he is incredible in this movie,
Yeah.
there are still some scenes where I'm like, I just think that guy would do this scene
Yeah.
this way.
Same.
And
Totally.
and it would be a little bit different. And,
Yep.
it's like, maybe that's not what happened in the book. I haven't read the book. Or
I haven't either.
I haven't read this.
I assume it's
the
as faithful.
story/book, whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not what he does in the book. And what are you going to do? Make the movie and go, suddenly he's doing this other thing? Maybe
Right.
not. But
Right. It would have been different.
It took things down a little bit for me. But why it is on the list is probably because if I read the book, I would probably love it.
And be so happy.
And that's why
Yeah, that's good.
the movie is on the list because, I mean, I know that. Because
Yeah.
the story that you get in this, which ultimately, once the movie's over, for me, this movie, in a fairly serious way, and this does not happen as much as it should, but it is something that I have said before about certain movies that I think are really great. This movie, to me, really, the movie that you get here is the thing that happens after the movie's over.
Right.
The thing that's in your brain happening
Right.
when you're done watching this movie is really the movie.
Yeah.
Like that's the story, the piecing together in your mind, because it's a really good story. Even
Yeah.
if there are parts of it that I think would be better, it's a really good story, and it's like this whole just kind of crushing metaphor of America, and
Right.
and it is fantastic,
Totally.
right? And that story is great, and tons of things in this movie happen really perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the movie is just awesome.
Yeah.
There are, one of the things that's the worst about this movie, and I'm not going to go on forever about it. One of the things that's the worst is that I think to your average person reading the bullet points, you'd go, "Why? I don't
What?
want to watch that."
Yeah. Great.
like
Sounds like a fun time.
it's
Yeah.
horrible. Who would
Right.
Who would I mean do that to themselves, right?
Right.
Like I
Right.
don't want to watch
I'm
that.
having too many good days back to
and
back.
you get like halfway through the bullet points,
Yeah.
and then everything after that, you're like,
Okay.
who wants to know
right.
this,
Right. Yeah.
or
Right.
be involved with this guy ever?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
But the movie is put together really fantastically, and
beautiful.
if you can watch it,
Yeah.
and I mean, if you make it through like the first 30, 40 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's the kind of movie that you want to watch, then you're going to love it. It's really,
Yeah.
it's really good. And like I said, even though I feel like some things should be different, it's still, good enough to be on the list. But I do just have problems with it. It's
Yeah.
not. This is a movie that I feel like there's another world in which this is like the number one movie,
Yeah.
for me, and that fact like takes away from the movie some. So
Yeah.
it's only 7.
And I mean, it's right in that sweet spot too of it's only like an hour and 42 minutes long. And I got to tell you, sometimes that feels like Marty Supreme long.
Right.
Because There's
It
not,
is
it's
slow,
gorgeously
and
beautiful
it is a
looking,
movie
but
that
it's
feels
supposed to be
a lot longer
right.
than it is.
And we're supposed to feel the weight of him and what he carries and how he moves through the world and how the world changes on him. I agree. I actually thought when I meant to say earlier, I thought the strangest entry on my whole list might have been not Frankenstein or Marty Supreme. It might have been Train Dreams. I see a world where that was number 1 or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do want to throw out really quickly, the movie is such a weird thing, and there are things that are good and bad, but the part, and I don't want to spoil anything, and it's not spoilery because it's fairly early, but the part where you're in with who this guy is, and he's married and he has a kid and everything, and then he goes away, and then he comes back.
Yeah.
That part of the movie is, if that had gone wrong,
Yeah.
if the scenes right in that area, like the 20 minutes in that area of the movie,
Yep.
if that had gone wrong, this would, be one of the dumbest movies that ever
Absolutely.
happened, right?
Absolutely. It
And
would be on
it's-
your worst list, and
and
deservedly.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it works and everything. But
Yeah.
try to imagine a world where we don't really hit that. It would have been just so bad.
You're looking at the call sheet, you're looking at the screenplay, and you're like, this is the thing.
Yeah.
If we miss this, we're done. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, because I agree. That whole scene is insane, and it could have been bad.
Yeah.
6?
And then possibly things speed up a little bit here because my number 6 is the Phoenician Scheme,
Oh, okay.
which
Yep.
this is another one where I was kind of mad that this wasn't good enough to be number 1, but
Me too.
it still was good.
It's still
And
good.
I still liked it. A lot of parts of it I really loved.
Yeah.
A lot of parts of it are just amazing.
Yep.
And especially with, the actors and what they do and what they can pull out of. The most amazing thing about this movie for me is what these actors can pull out of utter deadpan.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that is like a level of difficulty, right? Like
Yeah.
that is hard to get anything out of that and sell it and deliver what you're supposed to deliver.
Totally.
And it really works. It's just that I feel there are a lot of parts of it I wish were better. And
Yeah.
overall, I wish it hit a little harder. But anyway, it's number 6.
My 6 is I'd be blown away if it was on your list. My 6 is interesting. I just thought about it, not in the way that we've talked about thinking about films. More often than not, Jaws is one of, if not my number 1 film. I love Jaws. Listen to the big sigh over here.
I mean, I know what's coming now.
Jaws at 50, the documentary, the definitive inside story. I've seen every documentary about Jaws. I've seen all the Blu-ray footage things. I've seen all the snippets. The vast majority, if not almost all of the new stuff in this was just fun to see. It was a nostalgic tea on a rainy day. I watched it. I just wanted to see something familiar that I really loved, and I had a blast with it. I just had so much fun watching it, and it felt good. If you love Jaws and you think you've seen all these things, you haven't. Just check it out. It's one of these personal things that I don't think I could sell to anybody else, especially if they just didn't like Jaws. I wouldn't suggest checking this film out, but for me, 6 is Jaws at 50.
All right.
5 is Wake Up Dead Man. I was a little surprised that showed up the way it did and showed up past 6, not because Jaws was holding 6. I thought Wake Up Dead Man might be 8 or 9. I just had a lot of fun with it. Rian Johnson is just such a weird filmmaker because I feel like I love or don't love what he's doing. And in this instance, with Daniel Craig back, just oozing the foghorn leghorn, he just loves sitting in it. I had so much fun with Glenn Close and with Josh Brolin. They loved their roles. It showed. The film was a riot.
Yeah.
Wake Up Dead Man.
All right. And just, for, I don't know, the sake of whatever, right?
That's not
because
on
I
my
haven't
list.
mentioned it at all. That's not on my list.
Jaws.
No, well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
no,
on my list.
that's
But
not
no,
on-
Wake Up Dead Man's
Yeah.
not on my list.
Right.
Wake Up Dead Man for me was it's a movie worth watching, and it's very fun.
Yeah.
If you like the first 2 movies, you're gonna like it well enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's gonna be good enough. But for me, I really thought that movie kind of fell apart, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's much longer than it needs to be, and
That's true.
all of the things that make it longer than it needs to be
Yeah.
are really weird scenes that are Ryan Johnson is just absolutely in his own head thinking that
Nobody can edit
he's
me.
like on the level in the scenes in this movie. That there are scenes in the movie that are awesome. There's
Sure.
much
Sure.
of it that's very good, right? But the parts that don't need to be there are really like just him going, it's good because I'm doing it.
Right. And let's try this.
And,
Okay.
and then
print.
it doesn't matter.
Right,
Right.
right.
Like how do you know this is good? Because I made it.
I did
I mean,
it.
and it's
Yeah.
infuriating. And I think when I was thinking about this movie, compare this movie with the first one.
Oh,
and I'm
there
like,
is no comparison.
this movie's just not that
Yeah.
good.
No, there's no
The movie is
comparison.
not.
I'd put
whatever.
Knives Out on my list if I
Anyway,
could have.
so anyway, that's where we are. So we're
Your
looking for
five.
my five. My five is a shock to me in a weird way, even though it was nominated. So it's not like it got no attention.
Okay.
And it is Zootopia 2,
Oh, yeah.
which made $1 billion.
Yep.
So it's not like nobody knows what it is or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I said, it got nominated for Best Animated Feature because how's it not going to be? But
Right,
but I feel like it's weird, like trying to have your finger on the pulse of what people are talking about and blah blah blah. And it just feels like this movie was weirdly overlooked and never had a chance,
Yeah.
and nobody was talking about it. And it's so good.
Yeah,
and it's.
That's one I missed.
And plus, it's a sequel.
Right.
So it's like, that's even better because
Yeah.
And again, I went into this movie going, this is going to be pretty good.
Sure. Should be.
Zootopia was fantastic.
Fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be pretty good. Right. But it's a sequel.
Right.
Not every animated franchise is
Right.
Toy Story where
Right.
they're still good.
Yeah.
Or, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was scared, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I had low expectations, but I was nervous that
Right.
we were just going to be milking
Same thing.
whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And we don't, like I said, we don't have to review everything, but it's really good. And I'm very surprised that it lost to K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I'm
Right.
surprised.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, my number 4
Your
is
4.
Hamnet,
Right.
which obviously has been nominated for everything. Won
Sure.
actress or supporting actress or whatever. I mean, it's
Yep.
it's got plenty
Jesse
of attention.
Yeah, Jesse Buckley.
It is again, and like I said, we're not going to review it. Everyone's talked about this. We don't have to
Yeah.
dive too seriously into it. But I will say, it's kind of niche. It is. It is one of those movies that the general public complains a lot about. This is the kind of thing that wins awards,
Yep.
and I don't
Give
want to
something else
watch
a chance,
Shakespeare, and it's
right.
like it's not even Shakespeare; it's about
Right,
Shakespeare.
right.
That's like even worse, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like period, and it's weird, and it's
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is what I'm declaring this guy's life was because it's a good story.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Right.
And it's very slow in parts.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always need to be that slow, right?
This sounds great.
But ultimately, it's so good.
it's just good.
It is.
And they're
really,
good.
really good. Yeah.
That,
yeah.
yeah. Let's see.
right.
That's your 4.
Yeah.
4 for me, you're gonna. I mean, if you didn't like Jaws, you're not gonna like this.
Oh my God. What are you, just like documentary man now?
Well,
or
remember,
something?
I'm limited by the choices. I'd like to give you the
all
list of
right.
films I had, and let's see what your order would be.
Okay.
Actually, enjoyed the films that I saw, but I am limited by the things that I have. I didn't see Hamnet. Hamnet was one, like Eternity. I meant to see it, I just didn't get to it. F1. F1 is a blast.
yeah.
F1 is a
That is a good
blast.
movie.
And F1 caught me by surprise. This is maybe the 50th time I've said on this podcast over the decade plus that we've done this. Anytime a racing film like this comes up, I'm not a car guy.
Right.
I'm not a racing guy. I can't tell you what my manifest shimmer hold any of these things. I'm even making up things. I can't make them up right. But I know maybe on some level, because I saw some backlash from people who do like F1 racing, that they were incensed at this film, at the liberties it took. I had a blast because I don't know anything about F1 except they're fast. They get these huge tires and they go through streets.
Right.
So the thing for me that sells it is the thing that almost always sells it. I know that you are, as a barometer on Brad Pitt, not as high as I am. I actually really like Brad Pitt. I think this movie is probably written just for Brad Pitt being Brad Pitt.
Right.
And he has such a fun dynamic in the film with everybody else. It's got such a pace and a speed, no pun intended, that I think you need in a film like that. And by the time I was done watching it, I was like, man, why aren't I a car guy? I just had so much fun with it.
I am a car guy. I just don't know it.
I'm just not in touch with that guy.
Yeah.
So that was my number 4.
All right.
3 for me is, in retrospect, kind of weird to think this year I didn't have an animated film on, and I've got 3 horror films. 3 is Weapons.
Oh, yeah.
I liked Weapons a lot. There were parts of Weapons I didn't like at all. Seems strange to say that for a number 3, but I had a lot of fun about Weapons, and partially because other people that I talk to regularly enjoyed it, I think, more than I did. I wound up talking about it a lot. And when we talked about it, it wasn't about the negatives. It was about all the fun and the positives and the wackiness and the sort of strange aura that it had for some part of the film. I think the first 35 minutes of that film as a suspense film worked perfectly. It's really exciting, and I think it's very curious, and it sets up a lot of things. I think if you don't like the end, I understand why, and you totally are right. I think if you do like the end, I think there's something probably wrong with you, and you're totally right. Like, I get it. But for me, Weapons was number 3.
Okay. So I am just going to say, and we're going really long here, but I'm just going to say F1 is actually a very fun movie.
It's just fun.
It wasn't quite, in my, it wasn't on my radar as best or whatever.
Yeah.
It's good and it's fun. The problem with the movie for me, I mean, there are a variety of problems, but the problem for me was it just made me want to watch Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah. And it's a better film.
And I was
I get it.
But there's a lot of good stuff in it. Brad Pitt in it is good in it. I don't overly have a problem with Brad Pitt. He is in some movies, and I don't think this one counts, but he is in some movies where the point of him being in it is just like, look at Brad Pitt.
Look at Brad Pitt.
And it's not
totally.
because he's good or
he's Brad Pitt.
Doing good acting or whatever. This is not that. But
yeah.
And then, Weapons... Weapons is okay, but Weapons is the same guy as Barbarians, right?
It is
that one,
it
and
is.
And I had just about the same reaction.
Yeah.
I watched almost all the way through Barbarians. I was like, "This is goofy.
Yeah.
Why am I watching this?"
Yeah.
And other people thought it was great and everything, and I'm like, I don't know what people like about this. And I had pretty much the same reaction to Weapons. There are parts of it that are pretty cool and interesting. Overall, I think if you take the overall story of what happens, like you say, with the end,
right?
And then I just have to roll my eyes.
I
at
know.
The whole thing.
That's why I said if somebody didn't like it,
like,
you're right. And if somebody did like it, I'm like, you're kind of up for it.
But it's it's okay, and it is. I think if you go into it with the right idea, then it's probably better. But
yeah. A little,
but I don't know.
So 3 for you.
Anyway, okay, my 3 is The Secret Agent, which is a foreign movie, and it ended up getting the nomination at the Golden Globes, I think, for Best Actor, which I think is just awesome that happened.
Yeah,
that a foreign movie got a nomination for something outside of foreign
best
movie.
foreign film,
or even like Best Picture, which we had. But I just love that move is happening.
Yeah,
that we are taking foreign movies and going, they could be nominated for other things, right?
Parasite.
Right.
Sure.
Anyway, this is, it's a foreign movie, and we're not going to, like I said, just go on, and we're over time and everything. But it is one of the best movies I have seen in quite a while. That is what you expect from a movie called The Secret Agent. It is like suspense and a dude who is out of his element and doesn't know what to do or where to go or what's happening, and on and on and on.
Huh.
And everyone in it is really, really solid. But it is, the vast majority of movies that are kind of like this kind of concept that you see out of Hollywood are not just doing that.
Yeah.
They are trying to throw in a bunch of other cheesy crap, because we're trying to have
we're making a movie,
some action and some this and that.
It's been 20 minutes. Someone has to shoot somebody.
Right. And this one is, what if that's good enough on its own, just to, have this guy in this situation, and he's screwed. And it's almost like, like Lola Runs kind of a thing, right? Or just in, the concept of just focusing right on that and letting that be enough or whatever. Right. Anyway, it's really, really good. And my number 2 is Jay Kelly.
Yeah.
Which is George Clooney, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this a bit before, and it's Adam Sandler, and it's George Clooney, and it's this weird movie where what the movie is just, it's literally like George Clooney. He's an actor who has been really famous for a really long time, and now he's older.
Right.
And, okay, what's life like now? And this is all the stuff that I've screwed up about my life in order to be this guy, and this is why I have these problems. And Adam Sandler is like his agent / Man Friday, whatever.
Yep.
And it's just like this little window of time, and it's really, it's one of those things too where the very end of this movie, pretty cynical people might say it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I think it does, and I think it really hits, and I think all of the stuff that happens before is great. George Clooney is awesome in it. Adam Sandler is insanely good at supporting, and it's super, super solid. And it's just, it's like the end is like kind of, kind of, here's an end. It's not like any super surprise or twist or like that.
But it earns it.
But I think it does earn it.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that it's not a big thing, right?
Right.
But it is a thing that if you don't hit it, then it will be corny and dumb, right?
And you've wasted all this time.
Anyway, but
interesting.
It's all kinds of fun, and that's it. Okay, so 2 is what I'm supposed to end on.
Yep. 2 for me. Before I get to 2, I really wanted to see Jay Kelly just because, and I like Clooney, and I really mostly, almost always like Sandler. And the buzz on it was, man, just watch these guys go. Just sit back and check it out. And that's the one that I think.
It's weird that like no one ever heard of this movie until you looked at like the list of nominations or something.
And it kept popping.
It's just like, what?
Of all the films, I wanted to see Eternity because I love the concept of woman goes to heaven, she can have her husband now, or she can have her crush that she never got anything with. Where do you go? And I'm like, well, shit, that's a story I just want to hear anyway.
Right.
There's a couple other films, but Jay Kelly was the one that I think I missed for the list the biggest. Man, I we didn't get a chance to do a whole episode on it, and I don't know if we will going forward. But number 2 for me was The Secret Agent, and what a just amazingly fun, exciting, moderately to slow paced film. Like don't watch this film thinking you're getting Ocean's 11 or Lethal Weapon or any of the James Bond, Jason Bourne films. It's not that kind of secret agent film. Although when there was action scenes pop up, it's very much
Right.
those movies and more. I think that for 2 hours and 40 minutes, that film had me almost always for 2 hours and 20 minutes intently. I just absorbed into it, and I loved watching it. And I think the things that I didn't get fully isn't the runtime. We always bring it up, but it isn't the running time. I think there's some cultural story there that I don't get, so it doesn't resonate with me more. There's something there about the history that I don't get that just doesn't resonate with me more. Or this filmmaker is doing something. I think if you pick the wrong Yorgo Lanthimos film and you give it to somebody who's never seen any of them, if you pick the wrong one, you've probably done something wrong there, because there are enough good ones. This is my first foray into seeing this filmmaker's work, and I loved it. It just was at like 9.5. It just couldn't be the best film that I saw all year, but god damn, that was an amazingly fun time with fully fleshed out characters who were living and breathing behind the scenes and had a life before I started watching them. Everything you want from a film, this has, if you can take that kind of film. I remember feeling this way when I started watching like Parasite or Memories of Murder or just things like that. I'm like, sign me up. I'm in for the whole thing. Number 1 is Sentimental Value. And we did a show about that.
Yeah.
We did it very recently. I'll only echo a few things about it, which is, I think it works. I think there's an interesting dynamic there. I think if anyone really is interested in it, not in the interest of resharing all that stuff, just fire up that episode. I think we did it like 3 weeks ago, so it's just a few episodes back, and we are stretching the time. But for me, I didn't know it was going to be the number 1 film when I saw it, but I've thought about it a fair amount, and I thought everything that it did and almost exactly earned everything that it got. So for me, that was an easy one.
Yeah, and so my number 1 is All That's Left in Mine is also Sentimental Value.
Yeah, okay.
Which,
All right, yeah.
I kind of did think when I watched it that
might be it.
When I watched that movie, it's, often this will happen like really early in the year, and this was not really early in the year, so it kind of doesn't actually count the same way.
Right.
But sometimes I'll see something really early in the year, and I'll go, the rest of the movies have a
right. This is
hill
the
to climb, right?
Right. Yeah.
And this one, by the time I saw this movie, I kind of was like, well, I only have really like a few serious contenders left to watch, so I'm pretty sure that I know where I am, right?
Yep.
But there was so much in this movie, and it's so weird again because this movie gets nominated. No one who's heard of it. I mean,
nobody's talking about it.
Maybe
like
I'm
that.
out of the loop somewhere, and I don't see things that the general public sees. And I don't know exactly how that would happen, but this and Jay Kelly, which are my top 2 films, I think are the 2 films that I heard the least about all year. Like, no one's talking about it. No one's selling this to me outside of, I mean, they are actually selling it to me. So, but from a normal person point of view, right? Like, nobody's trying to get me to see these movies. Nobody's like hyping stuff. And then it's just like, when you look at the list of nominees for Golden Globes or Critics' Choice, which, obviously the nominees come out much earlier for those than the Oscars. But if you're paying attention to movies, so you pay attention to the nominees and whatnot, like that may be the first time you've like really heard that you're supposed to think these are good.
Right.
You may have heard of them.
Right.
You may have, maybe you saw something about them or you pay attention enough to know what's coming out.
Yeah.
But man, like,
no, it's under.
It is so weird.
Yep.
And the Critics' Choice has 11 nominees.
Yeah.
And I mean, you heard about all the other ones. Even Begonia got at least like a decent push,
and Sinners,
right?
Right.
And it's just so weird that these 2 end up. But anyway, Sentimental Value, and like you said, I loved it when I saw it. Mm-hmm. I was actually a little surprised in a way, and like you said, we've already covered this movie, so we're not going to cover it again or talk too much about it, and we got to get out of here anyway. But it was a little bit of a surprise because even coming off The Worst Person in the World,
right,
at like, 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, I kind of was like, well, I mean, I'm going to like this movie.
Right.
But it wasn't like, damn, what is it?
Right.
This is going to be awesome or
Nope.
whatever. I mean, I watched it and I'm like, hey, this is good. I'm in, right?
Yep.
But I wasn't like, it doesn't start, I think, really, and it's just the kind of movie it is. It's
Yeah.
very slow and simple and subtle and whatever, and it
Yep.
just, builds really slowly, and then
Yep.
you get more invested. But so it was like a little bit of a surprise in that way while watching it,
Right.
And after watching it, even though what it's about is just not that big a deal and not anything
Right.
that for any reason like would be especially interesting or important to me, like there are a lot of scenes I thought about afterwards.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, they did that good.
They did
right?
it. They did it.
So anyway, all right. So that's both of our number ones.
That's our best.
which
Best of the year.
I don't know. It doesn't happen all that much that we have the same number one.
No,
I don't know.
In the last few years, we sometimes will cycle the top 4 in some area
Right,
of
right,
things.
some order.
I only can remember maybe 2.
I
where
mean, I
we've
know
really
like
hit.
Parasite was. I think,
Parasite
but,
was for sure.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. But
All right,
that's
thanks,
our list.
Thanks for tuning in. That was really long, actually. List of the best movies of the year. Go see those movies. Tell us what you think. Leave
Yeah.
us comments.
Send us your list.
Like and subscribe and all that great stuff. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.